So welcome to the Mudano RegTech Roundtable. I'll just explain a little bit about us as a way of introduction to start with. So Mudano is a financial services data consultancy, and we focus on innovation and culture change. We're actually part of Accenture's UK and Ireland applied intelligence team. And our overall mission is to build the future of financial services, which is underpinned by data and machine learning. This informal presentation will discuss the wider RegTech industry, the impact of COVID-19 on regulations, and discuss a bit more about what we think will come next for the industry. Obviously, as we are a data consultancy, we'll approach the topic from our angle of expertise, which is data. So first up then, I'll introduce the team.
Hey there, so my name's Callum Canadian-Watt. I'm a data consultant at Mudano. I've got a background in financial services and regulation, mainly within the data space.
Hi, I'm Josie Steer. I'm a delivery manager at Mudano, and I've most recently been focusing on data management.
Hello, I am Werner Stender. I'm also a delivery manager with Mudano. Been working in the past few years with financial services and data transformation, including regulation.
Thanks, guys. So I'll get right to it with questions then. First of all, I'll address the elephant in the room. Congratulations to you all on the A-Team Insight RegTech Award. Just a bit of your opinion on this nomination.
Thanks, Matthew. I think we're all really pleased and quite proud of the nomination. Regulatory work isn't something that we're typically best known for as a data company. So I think it's great that our data-driven solutions are being recognised in this space.
Yeah, I think we found that our deep expertise in data and our unique way of approaching the problems of regulations usually convert some of these challenges into a head-on opportunity for our clients. I think it's very good.
Yeah, I mean, like, we don't just do tick the box exercises, and I think that's one of the key points that I like about our company. It's we know that regulation is often viewed as a burden and can be very time consuming and cost heavy. So, like, why not take this opportunity to implement smart, scalable solutions?
Yeah, I completely agree with Callum. I think it's worth highlighting an example where we actually did this when we delivered a BCBS 239 solution for one of our clients. So we were working with a 200-year-old bank. They had a myriad of legacy systems. They had application upon application. There was no real responsibility or accountability of data. So when the BCBS 239 requirements came into play, I think the bank kind of realized that they needed to make a fundamental change with their relationship with data. And that's where we came in and really helped them push and develop their relationship. So we helped them develop a group-wide metadata and data quality capability. We set up a program which delivered a metadata tool so they could actually start documenting lineage, metadata, embedded data ownership, a data quality tool which ran rules across hundreds of systems, and then help them transition this into BAU. So we managed to kind of take this reg program and really deliver lasting value for the client and deliver a solution that they're still using now in BAU.
Thanks for that, everyone. It's really great to hear about all the work that we've done in the space, as you alluded to, that we're not really known for it, but it's great to be recognised. I guess I'll go on to the next elephant in the room, if you guess, which is why we're all sitting having this conversation on our kitchen tables, which is COVID-19, and how will that affect the wider regulation industry?
Yeah, so I think this can be really split into two real parts. The first part being what's going to happen with existing and in-flight regulation, and then what's going to happen post-COVID. As you alluded to, we're all working at our kitchen tables, or in my case, my bedroom at the moment. And it just means it's a bit more difficult for banks and financial service companies to actually continue their normal operations effectively. And the regulators do actually understand this. So the Bank of England and the FCA have actually relaxed some reporting requirements on regulations that are currently in place at the moment, such as MiFID and EMIR. So they've actually reduced general BEX execution reports to hopefully relieve some of this pressure on the reporting teams. But this also actually does mean on the flip side that when this is all over, there may be more data processing required at the end of it, and therefore also some higher exception counts as well, which also need to get dealt with. In terms of in-flight regulations, you've also got things like IFRS 17, which has actually been delayed until January the 1st, 2023. And then you've also got LIBOR, which is still in flight, and it's still due to be delivered to the end of 2021, which may actually impact some programs at the moment. And then back to my second point that I was making earlier, what's going to happen post-COVID? I think one of the really interesting things that I'm finding at the moment is that the mortgage market right now is facing a liquidity crisis. What we might see is that there's maybe additional oversight required after post-COVID, just like we saw in the post-2008 crisis. This could be in the form of additional capital requirements held by banks, potentially stronger focus on operational risk, business continuity requirements, or even just enhanced data analytics to ensure that for the customers that they are lending to, they actually understand why they're lending to them and whether or not they can lend to them. I mean, do you have anything else to add, Josie or Werner?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think, especially on your comments post-COVID, I think these points around loans, debt, credit, operational risk, credit, liquidity, capital are all going to have strengthened oversight and possibly even regulation from many of the existing bodies. And stress testing is going to be one where we're going to have some potential new COVID scenarios included in there. I think one point that I would like to add is on the debt securities market. I think it's a conversation that's been going on for over a decade now, on especially on corporate bonds, and some of them that are low quality and credit worthy. I think some people are commenting about a bubble that's about to explode. I think it's too early to tell whether that's going to happen or not, but it's definitely accentuated now with COVID and all of the people trying to raise capital. So I think we're going to see strengthened oversight and potentially regulation on that side as well. But back to the present, Callum, you mentioned one thing about regulatory programs that are going ahead and some that are postponed. I think one thing we may not forget is that some of the regulations that have already been implemented, such as GDPR, do not go away. With COVID-19, we still need to uphold customers' privacy and comply with the regulation. I think that's a lot of stress on reporting functions as well, of many FS institutions to operate remotely. But we've seen that some of our clients that implemented more flexible data and reporting capabilities are suffering the least with these decision-making and increased regulatory pressure.
Thanks for that, both. It was really in-depth answers. I guess off the back of those answers then, what would you say are the next kind of hot topics in the regulatory data space that we should all be aware of?
So I've spoken about this before, but I think data ethics is still a hot topic. Yeah. And there's been much discussion and debate over the last couple of years. So I think it's kind of getting to that point where regulation is going to come into play, perhaps next year or the year after. So I think that's still a really kind of relevant topic. We've seen lots of kind of white papers in the area. I also think, mentioning COVID again, that banks may be acting very quickly and making decisions when it comes to data that they might not necessarily be tracking. So they might need to go back and do a retrospective exercise and have a look at kind of the ethical implications of the decisions they made. And it'd be nice to think that everyone's kind of got a little bit more social responsibility at the moment, so they might want to start applying an ethical lens to things.
And I think I just want to add a hot topic that's kind of close to my heart is digital regulatory reporting, also known as DRR. It's currently a prototype initiative being run by the FCA and the Bank of England. And I find it a very interesting proposition because it has the potential to really reshape the reporting landscape within the UK as well as Europe in general. As we know, one of the biggest hindrances to reporting at the moment is just the general overheads of the reporting teams. And what DRR is looking to do is really standardize a lot of the language, how regulations are implemented, and trying to actually turn some of the regulations into machine executable code, so there's no middlemen or actual IT burden on the banks themselves. So I find that really, really interesting and very, very a powerful move forward, because I mean, in crises such as now, having easier access and a more transparent view of data will only help to empower decision makers and also allow them to prioritize areas of focus.
Yeah, I think one point to add to that is having these transparent data, more easy access to it, is one of the foundational capabilities that's going to allow DRR to come to fruition once banks advance more with their trials. And I think the banks that we've worked with that implemented BCBS 339, as Josie mentioned, I think we learned some lessons about the disparate uses of the different tools to manage data, such as a metadata management tool, a data dictionary tool, and then a data quality tool. And that hinders a little bit the work that the data practitioners need to perform, especially in a moment of crisis like we are facing now. It's more important than ever to have a seamless data landscape that you can manage from a single place. And we've developed here at Mudano, part of Accenture, the proposition called Intelligent Data Management Portal, which is basically a portal where you have a connection to all of the different tools in your data landscape, and you can manage all from a single place and customize that to your user journeys. So you end up overcoming all of your existing infrastructure and data quality issues because you can manage everything simply from a single place, and any changes you make there reflect on the other source tools. So I think it's one of the things that's helped with BCBS 339. It's going to help with the foundation blocks for DRR, and also with some of the other relevant regulations such as FRTB and IFRS 17 too.
Yeah, I think those are good points around tooling, Werner. But I think we also need to remember the people aspects. So the tools and processes that we have in place aren't really going to be effective without the correct behaviours and motivations behind them. So I think it's really important when we're looking at pieces of work from reg programs to other projects that we're also striving towards a data culture where people are enabled to actually use the tooling to be as effective as possible.
Thanks everyone for those answers. Appreciate the plug for the Intelligent Data Management Portal there, Werner. I think Josie makes a really good point there at the end in terms of people, and which is why we as an organisation value people and data culture so highly, because it's that trifecta, if you like, the combination of data, technology, analytics, as well as people that create that positive experience of work that can accelerate organisational value of data. I guess then it's time to wrap this up, unless any of you want to add anything else that you think we've missed.
Yeah, I think just one thing that I'd like to add is around the work we're doing, specifically during this time of crisis with some of our clients on their response and preparedness for COVID-19. So we have a backlog of 5 themes, 10 main ideas that we're working on our R&D lab, and developing independently, but also with some of our clients on how they can better use data to deal with the challenges and opportunities that face with COVID-19. So just shout out if anyone watching these panel wants to discuss any of that, just get in touch with us. We're keen to develop some of these and have a discussion with you about response to COVID-19.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think it's a really good to highlight that we are doing a lot of work in the background, and that if anybody did want to get in touch and have any questions on the topics we've touched upon there, please do get in touch with us. I think I've also got to mention that we are doing a couple of webinars coming up on a range of different topics, including data management as well as data culture. So I just want to say thanks to all 3 of you for joining us today, Callum, Josie, and for being a part of this hopefully inaugural Mudano RegTech Roundtable. Thanks everyone again.
Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you.
Thanks.